Para malabanan ang COVID-19, ang kailangan natin ay tama at totoong impormasyon, hindi fake news. Huwag ka agad maniniwala sa nababasa at naririnig. Ang pagkalat ng mga maling paniniwala tungkol sa COVID-19 ay nagdudulot ng panik, takot at maling desisyon. Laging i-double check kung saan nanggaling ang nabasa o narinig. Maging mapanuri at i-share lamang ang tamang impormasyon. Sa wastong pag-iingat, ang virus hindi kakalat. COVID-19, kayang-kaya nating tapusin.
Hello, everyone. It's a beautiful lunch time again, right here on Edge TV and My Big Ink. And of course, this is Health Revolution. Ayan po. And we have a very special guest today. Magandang tanghali po, Ma'am Betty. Kumusta?
Yeah, Happy New Year, no? Ito ba yung first live episode natin na meron tayong guest? No?
Yes, opo. We have our very first guest for 2021 na live guest kasi for the past two episodes we have talked about mga takeaways, the lessons we learned from our episodes in 2020, the pandemic year. Pero syempre, just to remind us that magagamit natin to, we can apply all of the things we learned there going into this new year. Yeah. So another very interesting and very enlightening segment or episode is waiting for you guys. So don't go, lock in with us and paki-send lang po, paki-post lang in the comment section questions nyo sa ating isa po siyang health professional. Of course, he is a doctor and urologist. That. Ayan
Kasi
po.
nga last year, 'di ba, Raymond, we started with with actual experiences of different people, how they cope with
Yes.
pandemic, gano'n. So at least 'di ba naka-survive tayo noong 2020. So now
Yes.
for 2021 naman, we believe that knowledge naman is power. So parang
Correct.
oo, feeling ko kasi yung mga ibang tao natatakot sila kasi nga they don't know what to do. They are
Yeah.
afraid of we keep on people keep on saying na we keep on telling them that fear is the greatest fear, 'di ba? So it creates a lot of mental issues, a lot of problems for them. So bago pa man din tayo matakot, I
Yeah.
think it is better that we know kung alam natin, like even going to the hospital, o kailan ba kailangan pumunta, 'di ba? Pag
Yes.
meron tayong alam, we lessen the fear factor. So
Opo.
this year, so we would like to start off and also yung general health din ng tao because we are saying that every one of us, we just need to be healthy. We need to boost our immune system. There's nothing to be afraid of with the COVID. The important
Correct.
thing is, you know the symptoms, you know the signs, you know. But we will
Mhm.
start not with the COVID, kasi
Opo.
madami na
Masyado natin
naman
pinasikat.
discussion.
Yan. Masyado lang sikat sa atin ang COVID.
Oo nga
Hindi,
eh. We should
of course.
concentrate on other problems because people
Yes
have a
po.
lot of other problems also.
Yes, let's
Diba?
focus on it because there are a lot of
Mm-mm.
other viruses, bacteria, or health
Mm.
issues. Baka mamaya, focus natin sa COVID-19, napabayaan naman natin yung other equally and sometimes even more, more
Serious
dangerous to or more
concerns.
serious concerns
Oo.
sa ating katawan.
Mm.
Yeah.
Oo.
So,
Ayan.
yan, tama-tama.
So,
Naku, specialista. Natutuwa po ako. We're so honored to
mm,
have a
mm,
specialist, a medical frontliner, a specialist, no? At saka
mm.
sa isang very important na issue, especially for men, no? Kasi talagang
Oo.
medyo, ito ay malaking issue to, especially for mga men going to the senior years. I mean, middle age
Mm,
upwards, ganyan. Pero
mm.
syempre, in Health Revolution, we are proactive eh. Prevention,
Oo.
preemptive tayo. Kaya nga, before you reach
Mm,
the age of parang medyo may mafe-feel ka na, dapat alamin na muna natin. And
mm,
knowledge is power and yun, key yun sa prevention. Di po ba?
right.
Yan.
So we
So,
are fortunate
yan.
today, 'di ba? We are very
Mhm.
fortunate that we have with us today Dr. Joseph Lim Lee.
Ayan. So,
Ayan.
palayin natin yung
So,
short intro video ni Doc para medyo malaman natin. He's actually also a celebrity doctor. Very sanay na
oo.
to sa mga interviews.
He's a urologist. Ano pala?
Urologist. Ayan. Okay,
Okay.
here we go. Ayan.
Yan.
Good
Hi, Dr.
afternoon.
Joseph.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Mm.
Yes
Yes.
po. Yes,
All
clear,
right.
clear.
Of
Yes po.
course.
Loud
Grabe,
and
busy.
clear.
Loud and
Yeah.
Oo
clear.
nga. Ang dami
Busy.
mong
Okay.
clinics sa Doc.
Yes.
Of course. Hindi. Before we go to anything else, no, I like to take this opportunity to extend my sincerest gratitude to Betty and of course DJ Raymond, which is the first time I will be interacting with you with this platform, and of course
Yes.
Health Revolution, for inviting me this afternoon, okay,
Mhm.
for a interesting topic talk.
Oo.
Mhm.
Conversational lang tayo, Doc Joseph.
Yes.
Kasi
Opo.
we know that a lot of people, they have concerns, pero sometimes
Mm-mm.
they're afraid to ask, na nahihiyang magtanong. So, through this platform, we hope that you will be able to enlighten a lot of our uh, listeners,
Mhm.
so that they can, kasi sabi namin, knowledge is power eh.
Mm-mm.
Yes.
So, the greatest fear is fear itself. So, we'd like to share through you whatever knowledge we can, 'di ba? So that people
Mhm.
will will also be proactive with their health, and they will also know what to do, 'di ba? Parang before a problem becomes chronic, dapat proactive sila, they will do something about it already, so that
Mhm.
it doesn't become like a bigger issue, right? Oo.
Mm-mm.
And
Yeah.
kasi nga sabi, ito turf ni Raymond 'to, eh, kasi, we're going to talk about prostatitis, 'di ba?
Ayan,
So,
ayan.
yeah. Maybe
Prostatitis.
first we can start with Doc Joseph. What is prostatitis pala?
Prostatitis
Prostatitis.
pala.
Oo,
Prostatitis.
oo,
Prostatitis. Okay, wrong spelling
oo,
pala ako doon. May kulang.
oo.
Prostatitis. Okay.
Siguro
So, yeah.
pag babae wala namang prostatitis 'no, kasi walang prostate.
Wala.
Pag babae
Okay, so exempted talaga, ha?
urinary tract infection,
Infection.
parang
Yes.
gano'n. So that's a topic for another day.
Yes.
All
So,
right.
Prostatitis.
ayan,
Yan,
That is it.
prostatitis.
All right. Okay,
Okay.
Raymond, that is it. Okay.
prosta walang S,
Prostatitis.
Kasi
prostatitis,
merong, actually,
sumobra na,
prostatitis.
prostatitis.
Ayaw nga, no, sumobra. Okay. Eh,
Sobra na.
nalabas kasi ako, kasi pag narinig ko yung prostatitis, you know what comes into my mind? Prostate cancer. So that would be my,
Ah,
question nga eh. Prostate cancer, is this related? Kasi actually a brother-in-law who had this, also some friends, no? Especially in the, ano yan, mga pag pumapasok na before the senior years and especially na into the senior years, no? Prostate cancer. Is this related? Ano po ba yung connection nito?
Prostatitis.
mm-mm.
Oo. I think Doc Joseph is going to explain exactly
Yun,
what
yun.
is prostatitis.
Okay.
Parang mahirap na sakit 'no, spelling lang hindi pa natin ma-spell
Oo
na
nga po
maayos.
eh.
It's
Kasi
difficult to
sumikat masyado yung yung
to
prostate cancer. So medyo naging tayo
yan,
doon sa
oo.
Yan.
Oo.
prostatitis. Finally.
Mali
Finally.
pa rin. Kulang ng S.
Ay, na S naman. So, sorry, maliit kasi yung maliit kasi yung tinataypan ko dito. Okay,
Okay.
ayan. Anyway, tuloy nyo na po, Doc. Don't mind me.
Actually, Raymond, I agree with Betty when he was saying a while ago. Prevention is one of the basic principle wherein we culminate a good health and wellness institution or level up with regards to our body system, right? Okay. Now, you might be adamant. Some people might be adamant of going to doctors or seeing the doctors or even asking doctors question if and when they are confused with their symptoms or practically they are afraid of what they will hear, diba? I think both of you will agree with me, okay? But at the end of the day, when you seek medical help to a specialist or a health provider, one thing we can even tell our viewers or listeners is that you ask all the questions that you need, because at the end of the day, you do not go out of the clinic room and asking other platforms like Dr. Google. Do you know Dr. Google, Raymond? Betty?
Yes,
Okay.
of
So
course.
when you ask Dr.
Yeah.
Google, who is
Yeah,
not
I
a
know it all,
medical,
guy.
yeah, who is not a medical person, but I think he will
Oo.
give you all the details. You might get more confused. Okay.
That's right.
Now, that is one thing that Tita Betty was trying to expound. Okay, with regards to the topic of prostatitis, yes, I agree with the both of you. it is a concern of men because only
Yeah.
men has prostate gland. Okay, so relieved na si
Mm.
Betty dyan.
Yeah,
Di
yeah,
bale,
yeah, yeah.
It is a equivalent of your ovaries, di ba? Oo, so
ah,
Okay.
but
sasabihin
I should
natin,
learn also kasi pag if my husband asks me about it, di para alam ko, di
Yeah,
ba? So
yeah.
we
oo,
know for the male members of the family, there's nothing wrong with the additional knowledge.
Knowledge, that's right.
that is very basic, Raymond, Betty, no?
Mhm.
One is, if the organ is inherent of your what you call the gender status. So
Mm, mm,
prostate is for men and men alone.
mm,
Okay?
mm.
Okay.
so
Mm, mm,
so that is
So,
it. So prostatitis is for men and men alone also.
mm,
mm,
Okay.
mm,
So
yes,
you add itis, which is inflammatory in nature, to
mm,
prostate. So
mm,
okay.
you logically will think that your inflammation happens to be within the bounds of your prostate gland. Okay, to make
mm,
our listeners understand the importance of your prostate gland, we might think na, Raymond, Betty, it's just a simple organ. It's just an accessory reproductive organ. Nothing important, basically. It is an internal organ. It is actually an internal organ. When you say internal organ, it is kept in a safe keeping within a cavity or
inside.
a bound or a bone structure, no?
Mhm,
It is not
mhm,
outside. When you say outside organ, you can see it, okay? Like
mhm,
you can see other, or like your ears, you can
mhm,
practically visibly touch it, no? So it's an internal organ. It is not an external organ. Most of the time kasi they confuse the prostate gland with the thyroid gland. Kasi nakakapa ang
Mhm.
thyroid. No, yung bosyo, di ba, Remo? Hindi.
mhm,
Your thyroid is never your prostate is never in the neck. It is always inside your pelvic cavity, ha? Kasi yan ang
mhm,
lagi. When I say that, that is most of the time that men,
mhm.
when our lay individuals come in and tell, oh, saan ba yung prostate? Is ano na, okay. Now, prostate gland, the function is very basic, is for additional fluid for our semen. So it
Mhm,
is the production of seminal fluid for our
Mhm.
semen. Semen is similia,
mhm,
Betty. Okay.
mhm,
Semen contain sperm cell plus seminal fluid. Okay.
mhm,
Mm,
Your semen is seminal fluid, which is produced again by the prostate gland, and
mhm.
your sperm cell, which is
Mm,
produced by the testicles. So that is
okay.
understandable, ha? So
Mm,
similia or semen
mm.
is seminal fluid plus sperm cell.
So
Okay.
so
So
doc, it plays a very important role with especially fertility problems, 'di ba?
exactly,
Mm.
exactly. Okay. Even though the structure of it is like a chestnut, di ba? It is a chestnut, small.
Maliit lang ang prostate gland.
mm,
Oo, mga ano lang yan, Betty, Raymond, mga 20 to 30 grams. I don't know. It's like a fist, no? Smaller than a
Mhm,
fist, 20 to 30
mm,
grams. Beyond that, kasi
mhm,
that's an enlarged prostate. It's very
okay.
mhm,
small. It is kept snugly just below our urinary bladder, yung pantog natin, tawag ng ihian,
mhm.
no?
The
Nandiyan lang
bladder,
siya.
yes,
It
mm.
is kept there.
Hmm,
Why
hmm,
is it kept? Kasi
mhm,
dalawang layer of covering siya, Raymond, Betty. It is
hmm,
covered twice, no? So it
mhm,
is hyper protected. Hyper
hmm,
protected for what? Number
hmm,
one is infection. That is why our
mhm,
topic this high noon is about prostatitis, which happen to be, what are the cause? What are the
hmm.
etiology of prostatitis? One,
Oo.
you get it from what? Infection,
Hmm,
urinary infection. 'Di ba? Alam
hmm,
natin 'yan,
hmm,
Raymond, Betty. Yung infection, ay may infection ako, meron akong
hmm,
acute infection. Infection comes in acute and chronic. Okay? Pag
mhm,
sinabing acute, 7 days, chronic, 2 weeks. So you can
mhm,
have prolonged infection that can later on cause prostatitis. That's number one. Chronic UTI. Second, if you have sexually transmitted disease, boink, Raymond, boink, sa mga guys, di ba? Betty, sexually transmitted
Yes.
disease. What is common in our region is what? Gonorrhea, chlamydia, okay? Untreated. Untreated. I'm talking about untreated or self-medication sexually transmitted disease in some patient might later on cause prostatitis. So for the young men who is listening, kanina kasi nabanggit Tita Betty ni Raymond, what is the age generation or the age bracket of prostatitis? It can come in young age, middle age, or even the older people, older generation. So walang pinipili to
Any age, pwede. Oo.
Any age. Okay. So we talk about urinary tract infection, which is chronic. We talk about sexually transmitted disease, which is again untreated. Okay. Self-medication, you can have that. Okay. Now, why does this disease, which is a different entity, will end up prostatitis affecting the prostate? Because we have to remember, Raymond, the tract that we have for the men is one. For the females, you have two. One to urinate, a tube to urinate, and the other one is reproductive, going to the uterus. The male has only one. Okay? One for urinating, urethra, and one for reproduction, meaning wherein the semen comes out. Diba? Tama?
Single lane pala.
Single pathway sa babae, dalawa. So, lugi tayo. Okay. Isa pang lugi. Because very near the prostate, you have ducts, mga butas, entry point. Sabihin na natin, C5, C3, C7, ganyan. May mga changing point, entry points. Okay. Now, if you have infection, basically, for our listeners, infection is ascending, going up. It's never going down. So, anything for the men goes up. So, pag nagka-UTI ka, aakyat ang bacteria. Pag nagka-fungal infection ka, aakyat ang fungus, di ba? So, when you go up, when you have infection, like what I mentioned, it goes now to the opening of the portal. You have 3 openings, no? Which is located strategically very near the prostate gland. This is the entry point. Parang ito yung this is like going to the inside of your prostate gland. Kasi hindi sila Tita Betty,
it's inside. It's inside, diba?
From the outside Oo, they will go through the ducts and going inside the prostate. So, so when the infection is prevalent, when the infection is chronic, when there is a recurrent infection, whereas there is an untreated sexually transmitted infection, it goes to the ducts and it goes inside the prostate. What happens when it inside the prostate? Diba? Sabi ko kanina, 2 layer siya, ang hirap lumabas. So anong nangyayari? Pag andyan yung bacteria, so ikot lang siya ng ikot sa prostate, ikot lang siya ng ikot sa prostate, parami siya ng parami. It start accumulating and start accumulating. So what will happen to your prostate? Your prostate will end up disease and inflamed and tender. When you tender, parang boil. Alam mo yun na, yung may bukol na parang may nana. Pigsa. Tita Betty, yan. Pigsa. It will look like that, Raymond. Can you imagine your prostate, tinakot na natin sila, your prostate turning it like that? So, what are the signs and symptoms? You have difficulty of urination. You might even have urine in the blood. You might not able to sit kasi the prostate is in very near your puwet, no? Your pelvic, your buttocks. So can you imagine if it's so inflamed, hindi ka makakaupo.
Ang
Tita
hirap
Betty,
yan.
tsaka Raymond, you
Sa
sit
madaming symptoms nga. Pero that is ano na siya. Kasi prostatitis
Swollen
na
na
siya.
talaga.
It has,
Swollen.
oo. Yung
Prostatitis,
kumbaga, grabe na siya.
Oo, pero Tita Betty, Raymond, kasi that is prostatitis. I'm talking about prostatitis because later on, when you will see a doctor or a specialist, your specialist now will subdivide your prostatitis according to duration. Kasi you can have an acute prostatitis, you can have a subacute, okay? Ibig sabihin ng acute, weeks pa lang. Pag sabi ng acute, months pa lang. Pag sabi ng chronic, naku, years na. Sabihin, hindi ka nagpapatingin.
Prolonged na. Prolonged na.
And worst comes to worst, Raymond, Betty, you will have bladder pain syndrome. When they say bladder, urinary bladder, pantog ha, pain, very painful. I see very painful, Raymond. Hindi ko alam kung meron akong sprain sa buto, hindi ko alam kung meron akong pigsa, meron akong hemorrhoids or everything. You think of a lot of things because you cannot sit properly. That is the end stage you call bladder pain syndrome. Okay. Before I end and I submit to your question, why are we talking about prostatitis? Because during, sabi nga ni Tita Betty, you talk about COVID, because during the lockdown and during the 9 to 10 months 2020 COVID, no? COVID pandemic that we have gone through last year, you have an increased prevalence of prostatitis when I was looking into my patient. So ito ang number one. Instead of yung prostate cancer mo, yes, tama sabi niyo, you still have prostate cancer, but ito ang naging number one causes or yung mga cases of men coming to see us.
After pandemic.
After pandemic or during pandemic.
It happened. Most likely it happened in the pandemic. That's weird, no? Naka-lockdown. Tapos
naka-lockdown, na-stress, hindi na makaihi, hindi na umiinom ng tubig, hindi na umiinom ng
water. Actually,
what do you call that? Antimicrobials. They don't go to the doctors. They treat themselves. What else?
Yes. Another field.
They might be on a lockdown, but they are going around probably to some infected person that later on they did not know that will infect them eventually, diba? I think you will agree with me, Raymond, Betty, kahit naka-lockdown ka, yung medyo tayo nag-ease, diba? After 2 months, pwede ka naman pumunta ng ibang bahay para magpa-lockdown doon diba? Agree ka, Raymond? Punta ka ng kapitbahay mo,
kapitbahay.
Hindi mo alam, baka
akala ko naman it's pag hindi nakalabas yung mga sperm, nagkaroon ng nag-accumulate sa prostate.
Prostate cancer po ata yun. Hindi mga medyo
hindi makalabas ang sperm. That is one of the myths that they were saying na what happen pag hindi makalabas ang sperm, pwede magka-prostate cancer. No. Hindi rin sinasabi na if you
almost everybody believes
if you are not what you call that, under sex, under
use, or over under or over use. Yes.
No. It's not the thing. It is genetic.
You see, knowledge talaga is power. Now we're knowing the real score.
One time kasi I read na yung males usually have to relieve themselves at the minimum 90 days. Is that a myth or is that a fact?
Advance yung mga questions ni Ma'am
Oo nga Alam mo, Raymond,
siyempre, dyan ako interesado
Alam mo, tama yan, Tita Betty, para malaman ni Raymond. You know, okay, this is in the books, no? You need to release 21 times a month. You need to release 21 times a month. Diba ang saya? Di ba masaya?
Hindi ba
Okay.
mapayat, malnourished yung tao pag kulang
No,
sa
no, that
nourishment?
is that's once a day. That's actually
Yeah.
the counted numbers. Okay. Now
Mhm.
releasing is not really that bad, as what
Uh-huh.
Betty was saying. No, because when you release, you
Mhm.
replenish and you
Okay.
stimulate now your testicles to produce
Okay.
more sperm
Mm.
cell para you
Okay.
instruct
Mm.
them na, oy,
Uh-huh.
wala na, parang wala nang
Mm.
sigla eh.
Mag-produce ka na.
Mag-produce ka
Oo.
na,
Ah,
'di
so
ba?
dapat yung mga may
Paano
infertility
ma-expire?
problems,
Oo.
mag-ano, experiment ng gano'n. So, dapat mag-21 ka.
Well, actually,
Para
by the way,
dumami yung sperm, 'di
yeah,
ba?
yeah. Ay, kay Chris pala, thank you, Chris. Ang dami niyang tinatag na tao dito sa ating ano. Ayan. Si
Ah,
DJ Chris from from
hi.
Batangas. Thank you sa
Hello.
mga tag mo.
Mm,
Ang dami, oh. Okay. He was
mm.
actually in the
Ayan.
ICU ng pandemic. So thank you,
Ah,
thank you. Ayan, so before we actually interrupted si Doc, parang meron siyang parang meron kang finishing
sorry. Oo.
yeah, yeah.
Okay. No.
You might get
So
lost eh.
para yung mga mga
Sinusubaybayan ko lang, sorry.
para may iba mga gusto magtanong. Okay. So is it something that is problematic? Of course, it is problematic when it becomes chronic. It is problematic, Raymond, Tita Beth, when there is already pain syndrome because you
Mm,
tend to take in a lot of those analgesic,
mm.
antibiotics
Yeah.
continuously.
Mm,
But the
Self-medication.
problem is,
Yeah.
there is continued production of the bacteria, and you can have a
Oh,
mixture of the
mm.
bacteria. You can have Proteus, Klebsiella, Staphylococcus, and everything. And you
yeah.
know for the fact that if you perpetrate or even take something that will prevent the increase of this production and for the bacteria to be less virulent, then it will ease your symptoms. And eventually, when you get to have your prostate evaluated by a specialist, then you can continuously heal because this prostatitis
Mm,
can be
mm,
so prolonged. Okay?
mm. So,
Okay.
at least for those people who have prostatitis, wag ho kayong mawala ng pag-asa. There is a
Yes.
solution naman, 'di ba?
Mm-mm, mm-mm,
Yun.
mm-mm.
But yun
Yeah.
nga but the important thing is to be able to have a proper diagnosis. That's why we
Yes.
say, always ask the experts, 'di ba?
Correct.
When you feel something. Tsaka I tend to believe that sometimes people when they say na, oh, bigla na lang nagkaganyan, I tend to believe that there are little signals along the way.
Yes.
It's
Telltale
just
signs. Yeah.
people just do not pay attention to it until it becomes a chronic problem, right?
Yes. Actually,
So,
yes. It's a common attitude of
mm,
Filipinos, 'di ba? Or Filipinas.
mm,
Titiisin mo na 'di ba? Like the person I know had prostate cancer because he had a lot of children, he became a pastor. So, yung health niya was put aside, no? Until
mm,
na-develop until nagpunta na sa stage 4 when he tried kasi nagkaroon pa ng surgery pero it was too late na eh. Advanced stage na.
Exactly.
tsaka
Um,
yung
yes,
mga
yes.
tao natatakot na pag cancer, 'di ba? Parang prostate cancer. By the way, Doc, can prostatitis lead ba to prostate cancer?
Before
Okay.
you answer po Dana, batiin ko lang, there's actually,
Ay,
hello Bina,
hello.
Lionel. She is in Indonesia. Actually, she's based in Indonesia. She's an
Oh.
Indonesian. Please tell your husband to watch the show. And he says, hello,
Bene-play naman.
Hello,
Dr.
Mila.
Joseph.
Ay, hello Doc Joseph daw. Ayan.
Okay.
Raymond, meron
Yes,
naman tayong replay.
yes, that's right. You can watch this on
Oo.
demand anytime. Yan.
Mm.
Are we going to take a break na po muna before we continue with the
Sige.
class?
Bago sagutin ni Doc
It's a
Joseph
segue from
yung
plain prostatitis going to prostate cancer, which is also, medyo mataas na yung prevalence. Eh.
Yeah,
So I
for
know a lot of
sure.
senior, actually, I have a brother-in-law who's now having radiation treatment in the US because
mm,
of, they found that he has some early stage of prostate cancer. So we will
mm,
just be taking a very short break, counting reminders. regarding the products of pig. All right, here we go.
Ikaw ba ay may problema dahil sa bad bacteria? Mayroong solusyon para sa'yo, huwag mag-alala. Subukan mo na para may good digestion ka. Haha, happy life sa Team Biota. Team Biota, para laging mas happy ako siya.
Mahalagang paalala, ang 15 Biota ay hindi gamot at hindi dapat gamitin panggamot sa anumang uri ng sakit.
Kung puso ang problema, break the bad habits. Move on na para sa healthy heartbeats. A big 5-0. Tara na, let's all be fit. Mega healthy sa Omega 963. Para sa heart nutrient deficiency. Sa big 5-0, strong ang heart and body. Sa big 5-0.
Nakamove on ka na't kumanda? Sa Big 5-0, puso mo ay alagang-alaga.
Mahalagang paalala, ang Big 5 o ay hindi gamot at hindi dapat gamitin panggamot sa anumang uri ng sakit.
Anak, anong gusto mong juice?
Ang gusto ko, veggie juice kasi gusto juice, gusto ng lahat. Ang veggie juice na pampasigla ng katawan. Nasa gusto na ang lahat. May gulay na, may prutas pa. Itaga na ang sustansya. Vitamin ay kumpleto. Ikaw ma, gusto mo?
Uminom na ng isang baso ng sustansya. Kompletong sigla para sa ating pamilya. Gusto Veggie Juice, your yummy veggie drink. No approved therapeutic claims.
Yan,
Welcome back, Doc
Yan,
Joseph.
sa mga hate ng vegetables, yan. Gusto, veggie juice. Masarap siya. And soon, we'll be coming out with iba-ibang flavors. Yeah, para sa ayaw ng mango flavor. Ayan, let's go to the... Oy, tika pala, may greeting din si Mila kay Ma'am Betty. Yan. Hello,
Hi,
Betty.
Mila.
Hello. Her husband is actually a DJ, music DJ. We mix.
And music, music is the language of the
Heals.
soul.
Oh, yeah. It heals us. Ayan. Sige. So,
Yeah.
Doc
So, Doc Joseph, back to the
Yeah.
question. Does prostatitis lead to prostate cancer?
Actually, it's usually a different entity, no? Most of the time, kasi when you talk about prostate cancer, it goes around genetic and more of a hormonal cause. When you say genetic, it is your forefathers, your grandfathers, or your second generation, okay? And it has to be considered with regards to how much of your testosterone is affected. Testosterone is, by the way, the male hormone, okay? How much decline with regards to your hormones, because practically this is one of the nutrients of your prostate cancer. So ang pagkain, Raymond, ng prostate cancer is your hormone testosterone, okay? So when you start to have signs and symptoms of early stages of prostate cancer, it might be getting the nutrients from your hormone, which is your testosterone, okay? You were right a while ago with regards to the different stages of your prostate cancer. You have low stage, aggressive stage, then metastatic stage, okay? But sometimes you might have prostate cancer and concomitant infection, no, of prostatitis, or even enlarged prostate, which is benign, and you have on top of it prostatitis. But they are both of different entities. Okay?
Oh, wow. So that can happen pala, double whammy. Okay. Before we move on pala, singit natin si Jazzer. Good afternoon po, Dr. Joseph Lee. God bless po. Jazzer, Australia.
Jazzer, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Yan.
Yeah. So, Doc Joseph, so going back to prostatitis, at least we're happy to know na something that is curable as prostatitis, at least hindi siya yung cause na nagiging prostate cancer. But still,
Yes.
Yeah. Pero so you are saying, so how does a person gets naman the prostatitis? How will the bacteria, well, how can they get the bacteria? We know that the bacteria or the fungus, they enter through the three ducts that you mentioned, right? But basically, what can people do? Kumbaga, proactively, what can people do to prevent prostatitis?
Very simple because, as we mentioned a while ago, it is secondary to ascending infection. Okay?
Mhm,
Infection from external going upwards and causing a tremendous problem with your prostate gland, later on causing severe pain. Okay? Because
mhm,
of colonization and increase in the number of bacteria, then they become virulent. Okay? I hope
mhm,
Betty would agree with me, Raymond, when you have colonization, meaning one or two bacteria multiplies and it becomes a lot. They
Oh,
colonize. When they colonize,
mhm,
they cover basically the area wherein they are located. They become virulent when there is nothing for them to nutritionally eat. So magagalit na
mhm.
sila. So magagalit
Oo.
sila, mag-aaway sila, magpapatayan sila. Pag
oh,
Mhm,
nagpatayan na sila, then you get all the
mm,
symptoms coming up.
mm,
If you have more of the aggressive bacteria, where will they go? If there is no
mm,
food, kasi ang dami na nila eh, di ba?
mm,
That's why
mm,
when
mm,
you have your urinalysis, no, you analyze it, di ba, Raymond, Tita
mhm,
Betty? Uy, ang count ko,
mm,
10,000.
mm,
Sabi ni doktor,
mm, mm.
100,000. Too many to
Oh,
count, di ba? Yung
mm,
urinalysis.
yung
When you have too
bacteria.
many to count, bacteria, ibig sabihin, ang dami na nila, nagsisiksika na sila.
oh.
So, pag
Mm,
nagsisiksikan na sila, can you imagine in the prostate, nagsisiksikan nila, causing so much pain, where will they go? Okay, there is
Yung may
mm,
no way.
spillover po
Sometimes
ba
they
yun?
go up, they go up.
mm.
Spillover effect?
Oh, they will have spillover. Exactly, Raymond. They
To
might spill over.
other
They go up the other
Oh,
urinary
organs.
organs.
organ
Oh, wow.
So
system.
there.
Okay,
Mm,
so basically, you were saying, Tita Betty, how can we stop it? Is
mm,
nutrition. In you
Mhm.
eat properly, di ba?
mm,
You can
mm,
even hydrate. When you say even taking good nutrition is what? By like we have mentioned, you balance yourself. Not
ah,
too much meat.
Okay.
Vegetable.
mm,
Sabi nga
Wow,
ni
huh?
Raymond kanina, uminom ka ng gusto. Pwede yan.
Yan,
Pwede.
vegan juice,
ah,
yeah, vegan
You do not
juice.
only hydrate, and it is
mm, mm,
direct, and it's vegetable prepared. And the
mm, mm,
vegetables are so nice in its ingredients, and probably you
mm,
can later on wash off a bit of the bacteria. Kasi
mm,
when you when the urine comes down, dadaan rin siya
mm,
portion sa
mm,
prostate, Tita
mm.
Betty Raymond. So nawawash
Okay.
out pa rin yan.
Uh-huh.
So
Mm,
natatapon siya. Sabihin
mm,
mo, nako, nawawash out. Paano ko malalaman? Look when you urinate. Di ba,
mm,
Raymond?
mm,
Look when you urinate. You have bubbles. Your urine
mm,
is so
Oh,
concentrated. Your urine is so murky. Yan,
mm.
yan,
lumalabas na mga
yellow, yellow na.
Yung
bacteria.
Yeah,
mga
Yellow-yellow.
medyo dark
Okay?
yellow,
mm,
yeah. Oo.
mhm,
So you
mhm,
wash it, you will wash it, you wash it. So vegetables are
mm,
very, very good nutritionally. Kasi these are
Mm,
very
mm,
basic things. So sabi, ay wag na, kain tayo ng meat. Oh, we keep on eating pork. And ano,
yeah,
mm,
yan ang
processed meat. Yeah.
gustong-gusto ng bacteria. The more pork you have, the more meat you
Wow.
have, they will
Ano
mm,
more
sila?
survive.
Carnivorous.
Yeah,
Carnivores.
mm,
they do not like vegetables because there are some ingredients in the vegetables that they do not like, and it
mm,
causes problem in
It
their
kills them.
survival. It kills them.
mm,
So you can
Oh,
have
good,
mm,
you
good.
can drink like what has been shown a while ago.
mm,
They can drink gusto. Okay,
mm.
in order to protect
Ay,
them, Tita Betty,
yeah.
papasok ko na, in order to protect them, kasi baka sabi mo, other organs, di ba? Other organs, di ba? You're talking about
Yeah.
other organs. O di umakyat na,
Spill over.
o anong pwedeng gawin? Ay, hindi malakas ang GI ko, hindi matibay. baka ano-ano na, di mag-probiotics ka, may probiotics naman. O, di may probiotics ka.
Okay.
Then you end up having what, basically?
Yeah, kasi yung probiotics naman, kasi it's for colon health. What people do not realize is yung colon, if they are familiar with a reflexology chart, our colon also has a colon chart wherein it also corresponds to the different organs of the body. Tsaka yun tayo kasi holistic tayo, 'di ba? Kailangan lahat na ano, if with probiotics, it will help all the different organs of the body. Ayun. Pero yung ano, yung gusto, going back to gusto, yung there was a Korean before na sabi niya sa akin, "Oh Betty, I like your gusto kasi it makes me pee more." Mas dumadami yung ihi. So,
I
'di ba, if
experienced
you
that
have
too,
more,
sa gusto.
yeah, if you have more urine, 'di ba, our body cleanses, we detox through those one of the organs that helps in the detoxification is by urinating it out, 'di ba? So if we are able to wash out, as Dr. Lee is saying, that's very good for us. So, but then you have to drink for you to be able to wash out. Otherwise, wala naman siyang i-wash out. Kaya nga siguro during nung pandemic, kasi nasa bahay eh. So,
Yeah. Totoo yan.
nakakalimutan
Experience.
uminom.
Yeah.
Oo.
Ako rin po. That was my experience. Pero I noticed it, mga 1 month na. Sabi ko, bakit? Samantala, when we're out, di ba, we drink a lot, di ba? Kasi we walk, we are busy. Also, we make it a point, we drink a lot, we buy bottled water, gano'n. Pero
Especially
nasa bahay,
pag
napansin ko, yes ma'am, I was trying to count. Parang palang 5 glasses a day yung naiinom ko. So, when I became aware, sa umaga ulit, yun, 2 kagad. Parang, stock up na muna ako. Advance
Good
na.
for you. Hindi, good for you, Raymond. Di ba, Tita Betty? Sometimes people are drinking on bottled water or boiled water or distilled water. That is good for you. But most of the time, some of the patients, like I experienced some of my patients, I think Tita Betty will agree. They don't like water because what? It's tasteless. Walang lasa.
Tama.
They prefer carbonated drinks. Alam mo naman.
Soft drink.
Carbonated. Paano yan? During lockdown, anong gagawin mo? Hindi ka naiinom. So that's the problem. They create more infection. Okay?
Kaya dumami nga yung mga problems.
Yan o nga yung pala yun. So
Kaya,
water talaga is life, no? It can really...
Water is like, not only that, I'll insert Raymond, di ba?
Yes.
Okay. During that time, I think in yung quarantine natin, everybody starts to be plantito and plantita, di ba? People start to consider vegetable as one of the staple food, one of the good food, kasi yun ang mas maraming nabibili, di ba? Kasi during that time, I think we have problems with the pork, di ba? The pork, yung flu, di ba? Yung
swine fever.
Parang may sumasabay na ganyan eh, mga avian flu, parang gano'n. Pati yung pork, yung swine, di ba?
Swine
fever.
Swine fever. Tapos ano nangyari? We end up in our dinner table or lunch table is what? Di ba, Tita Betty, Raymond? Vegetables. So you have here what? You have to in itself either cook vegetables or take in vegetable. So tama yung sinabi ninyo kaninang dalawa na you have something here that is being prepared and in a juice type and you can just drink it, ang sarap. Tapos sabihin nyo, walang tubig, yan, may lasa ng tubig, ang sarap-sarap pa. Diba?
There was another problem then kasi with veggies eh. Kasi 'di ba, especially nung first part nung pandemic, the vegetables do not come from Baguio, 'di ba, from the provinces
Mahal
na
din po.
lockdown. Oo.
Sobrang
So
mahal ng
tendency is actually I think what contributed more is because people depended on the processed food, mga delata, mga
yeah, correct. Yung ayuda, puro canned goods.
puro canned goods. We have to depend on canned goods which are from a nutritionist point of view, 'di ba, that's very bad kasi nga ano siya they have
Processed. Yeah.
preservatives, they have
Yeah.
kung ano-anong meron
Processed
diyan.
meat.
Kasi
Yeah.
it's not healthy.
Mhm.
Basically, it's not healthy. But yun na nga, what's good with the gusto, ako nga during that time, nako, everyday we drink a lot of gusto kasi number one, yun yung parang water na, 'di ba? And may mga apo ko nga, they call it the magic juice eh. Sabi ko nga doon sa apo ko,
Oh, they
hindi ka
love
na
it. I love
hindi
it.
ka na lumaki ah. Sabi na, kasi ano I don't have magic juice anymore. Okay. Ayun. So, and pero yun yung diet plays an important part in
Yes.
any,
Nutrition.
'di ba? It actually can contribute to a lot of diseases, and it can also prevent a lot of diseases, right? Ayun.
If
Kasi
I may
Raymond,
ask, yes, po, Doc. Yes,
kasi,
po, Doc.
kasi Raymond, Betty,
Yeah.
you're talking about prevention eh. Now,
Yes.
we're not even talking about vegetables or whatever kind of form of water that you take in that will wash away and really clean your or really treat your prostatitis in the whole sense of the word. No? Well, what we're saying is that it can improve symptomatology, meaning you prevent more of the production, more of the meaning increase in the number of bacteria that is invading your prostate gland, meaning because what you urinate more, you hydrate more, you wash out all the bacteria more. So the lesser that your enemy or the lesser that you have bacteria invading your prostate, the better is the cure.
So, bali, Doc, Joseph. So, for example, if a person, let's say, feels or they have a suspicion that they have prostatitis, so what should they do? Get a urinalysis? Yan yung first step?
Urinalysis and urine culture. No, Raymond, I like urine
So, iba po
culture.
yung urine culture. Okay.
Urine culture is where you get the organism. So when you get the organism, you do not manage on what you call that antimicrobials that are not sensitive to your organism. Okay, the only fact that you will get from urinalysis is bacteria and the number of past cells. Okay, but what I want is what type of organism are we considering, and what are we trying to treat later on. It is better that way rather than to give gunshot antimicrobial. That is the problem, Raymond, Tita
Yung mga
Betty.
broad
When you give,
spectrum. Broad
yeah,
spectrum.
you give kasi for the sake na, ito, bibigay ko to, mawawala na yan. Ang tawag dyan, natsambahan mo lang. Natsambahan mo lang, gumaling siya. Paano pag bumalik? Recurrent. And you know, prostatitis can recur and recur and recur once not treated properly.
Kaya nga dapat you go to experts nga kasi they will give you expert advice, and they can even give you expert opinion on how to treat it, right? Kasi nga, 'di ba, yung like for example, if madalas kang nagkaka-prostatitis and then you tend to self-medicate, and every time you take a certain brand of, let's say, antibiotic, so what happens? Diba your body develops a resistance? Kaya nga nagiging resistant, diba? So, and then in the future, paano na yan? Kung mamaya wala nang gamot na pwedeng tumalab sa'yo, right? So, you're creating actually a problem. So, but if at the onset pa lang, you already treat it with the correct antibiotic. Also, I think, I don't know if I'm correct, no, Doc Joseph, kasi if it is not the correct antibiotic, it might so happen na makukure siya, pero at a slower pace. Mas mabagal din siya. So, it will also contribute to your pain, diba? Whereas, if you have the correct antibiotic through a urine culture, immediate, pinapatay na the bacteria get killed easily. Right? Tama po ba?
Yeah.
So
And
isa
you
lang
have
po
to,
ba ang specimen yun? When you have if you need a sample for,
just give,
urinalysis and urine
Urine lang
culture.
din.
So
urine
isa
lang
Urine.
lang,
yun,
one
Raymond.
time lang
Urine
din po,
lang.
no?
Pero
Pang,
mga ano siya, 2 weeks ba, Doc? Or ano?
One
Parang you
week,
get the results. Oh, you
5
get
to
the
7
results in
days.
around 1
5 to
week's
okay.
7
time.
days.
As far as I know po ngayon, pwede rin yung mga mobile, I mean home service, di ba? Yung mga blood extraction, urinalysis, di ba? May mga medical ngayon services, they go to your house, they pick up, di ba?
Yeah.
Get your
You can
blood
pick it up.
sample.
You can pick it up. You can
Yun.
pick
So if
it up.
you're afraid to go out, pwede pa rin yan.
Pero kailangan fresh. Yun
Oh,
yung
yes
fresh.
po.
Oh, may
No, I
time
just,
yun eh, di ba? 1 hour or something.
Tapos
Ako, wag lang
mix.
matraffic yung nag-pull out nung specimen.
Then
Hindi,
one,
I
ang
just
alam
want,
ko, dinalagay sa ano yun eh, sa ice.
Okay. Dry ice or
Yes,
parang
Doc, sorry. Yes, Doc, you
hindi,
were
Yes po.
saying.
sabi ko nga Raymond I just wanna
Yes po.
add what Tita Betty was saying, no? Now, with regards to resistance of the antimicrobial, so the problem is kasi, you will now feed the bacteria. So
Hmm.
ngayon, pag hindi siya namamatay, it's just static. You call that static. Ibig sabihin,
Natulog.
parang kinilipi mo lang siya, pinastop mo lang siya. It should be cidal. Cidal meaning it kill the bacteria. So what will happen if you don't kill the bacteria? Yung binigyan mong antimicrobial, Raymond, Tita Betty, kakainin nila. Magiging vitamin sa kanila yun. So they will become strong.
Nutrition. Oh.
So
Feeding the
they will,
bacteria.
parang
It
ano yan
becomes
eh, they will return with the vengeance ngayon.
Exactly.
Kasi they became stronger. So that's how antibiotics work.
kaya talaga avoid self-medication when it comes to mga bacterial infections eh. Mahirap
Kaya
talaga
nga,
yun.
kaya nga ako, I always say, you medicate and you supplement eh. You medicate with the proper medicine, but at the same time, kasi nga, syempre, we're also afraid na dahil some people say, oh, with the effect of the antibiotics, malakas yung tama sa katawan, baka humina ka because it kills all the bacteria, whether good or bad. And we know for a fact that our bodies, we have 80% good bacteria. And actually, our bodies have bad bacteria, 20% nga lang, mas konti siya. So, sometimes nga ngayon, may mga autoimmune disease wherein yung sarili mong bacteria are growing to be so many that they now are invading your body. So, anyway, ang ano dyan is, that's why we say we medicate. So, we medicate, we go to a doctor, we get an expert advice, and then, on the other hand, we also supplement kasi we, like that one, the antibiotics, they kill the bacteria. So what we have to do is we have to bring in the good bacteria na pinatay ni antibiotic, di ba? So that is the logic behind probiotics. Ayun. That's why si Big, merong 15 strains. But we have many, many strains of bacteria in our body. Ayun.
Yes.
Tama ba ako, Doc?
Correct. Now, like you have strains that are homeostatic or very eco-friendly to our body. When you say eco-friendly, they tend to help in eliminating some of the bacteria that we might unintentionally take in. When you say unintentionally, kasi sa kakakain natin, di ba, Tita Betty, Raymond, minsan kinakain tayong madumi or something or whatever. You need bacteria also to
Yes.
to kill this bad bacteria. So you have
Okay.
you have your own set of microbes in or microflora in the body that are useful. Okay.
Okay.
Why do they become hurtful or self-incriminating? Yan, self-incriminating parang legal.
Parang sa
Ibig
legal.
sabihin, pag na-abuse sila, kagaya sabi Raymond ni Tita Beth, na-abuse sila, in-abuse mo sila, okay, then they tend to increase in number and start what? combating your body system. Like example, E. coli. E. coli is prevalent in our body. Sometimes you see them in some of the GI. Pero pag dumami siya, nakakapatay ang E. coli. Diba? So your probiotics now, when you get in, you have some bacteria there that are very nice. They can tell your microbes or microflora na kailangan bati-bati tayo. Kaya nandito ako, tinake in ako ng human body para we will be commensurating and helping each other. That is the help of your probiotics, di ba? Minsan kasi iniisip natin in layman's term, Raymond, di ba, Tita Betty, hindi ako matunawan, parang ako, mahirap ang GI ko. This is beyond prostatitis. Anong pinapainom sa'yo, 'di ba? Yung mga lactobacillus, mga lacto, 'di ba? Marami yan ginagamit na probiotic. Why? Bakit ka maglalacto? Kasi this helps control, buffers, or eliminate what is not balanced in our system, no? So they tend to be microflorals that are agonistic. When you say agonistic, magkatulong sila, hindi sila antagonistic to each other. So they make your body more equal or balanced.
They complement each other.
They complement
So,
each other. Correctly.
ganda ng learnings natin. Kaya lang, 1:60 na pala. Bilis na oras. Pero let's take a break po muna. We'll play a video. Ito yung favorite ni Ma'am Betty. Then, when we come back, we'll have meron tayong take away from, of course, our very special guest, Dr. Joseph Lee. So don't go away, guys. We got more coming up in a bit. And yes, we are back, and yun po. So we'll be
Raymond, I'd like to thank my friend for sending me that video. Si Baby Española. You know, she's 90 plus and she's still very active in online selling. Bilib ako sa kanya.
Parang eternal yun. Parang siya na yan. Kilala kong
Pero it just shows that kasi nga people, if you are if you have something to do, you keep yourself busy, and then kaya kagaya ganyan, you're sharing whatever knowledge you have. 'Di ba, very simple exercises, you can even do it sitting down on your chair. Kaya nga there's really not much need for going outdoors for exercise if you cannot, 'di ba? Lockdown but still, kung if you want some exercise, walking is also good, di ba? Ganyan, stretching. Parang si Doc Joseph, baka pagkakaupo mo dyan, nag-i-slouch na. I'm guilty of that. Diba? So,
Joseph is very busy. He's all over town. Kita ko yung mga clinic hours, tsaka hospitals or medical centers where he is. Affiliated.
Kasi very helpful.
All the time.
Very helpful, paying it forward, diba?
Right.
Kaya favorite siya ng mami mo. So thank you very much, Doc Joseph.
Doc Joseph, okay, so as we wrap
you will
up,
invite me again.
Yes, of course.
Kasi
Raymond, before you talk, sabi ko nga Tita Betty kay Raymond, kay Tita Betty, sabi ko, you can even invite me once a month if you
Oo nga eh. Kasi si Doc Joseph, ano siya, he makes, he makes something complex become very simple. So I
Yun.
hope yung mga listeners natin, they are happy with the very, di ba, yung with the explanation that Doc Joseph gave to us
It's
regarding
it's a
prostatitis.
gift po eh. Yeah, it's a gift eh. How to
Oo.
explain it in
Oo.
plain language.
Oo. Actually, it's more our honor, Doc Joseph, kasi you're very
Yes.
busy, I know. If you can join us, why not, di ba? Oo.
Oo
That will be more
naman,
of
if
my
you allow,
pleasure.
if you allow,
Mm-mm.
why not?
Mm-mm.
Ayun.
Sige.
Sige po,
Okay, so
yung ating
mga
takeaway for
revolutionaryos, yes, oo. So today, yun na nga, the first thing that we should do is to have a urinalysis. Whenever we have a problem na medyo madalas siya, wag naman, don't wait until it hurts, before you do something about it. So you can go have your urinalysis to find out the bacteria count in your urine. And then you go to an expert. You go to an expert, so you get an expert advice, and then you follow whatever the advice the doctor gives you. And then you medicate and you supplement. So that's how to have a healthy body and a holistic that's our holistic approach to health, because we'd
yes.
like everybody to be healthy and happy, di ba? Ayan. So,
Okay, yes po. Sige po, si Doc Joseph, baka meron pong parting words for our episode today.
yan.
Alam mo,
DJ
sabi ko
Chris
nga,
po, okay pa rin sa'yo. Nandiyan pa
sabi
rin
ko
sila
nga,
DJ Chris. Opo.
sabi ko nga,
Yes po,
Raymond,
Doc.
parang nasabi na ni Tita Betty, di ba? Oo. Na-outline niya na, Raymond, lahat no? What is essential and what you need to do.
Everything I learned, Doc Joseph, everything I learned from you today.
Yun.
So, we are good students.
Sinamarize. Very attentive.
Pero
Si
anything
Ma'am Betty.
else you'd like to add?
And then me lang
Opo.
naman, it's always nice for our viewers to look into this kind of education and platform, online education, like Health Revolution. Why? Because then you tend to learn things from specialists or other invited resource person with regards to certain diseases. Okay, all right. We do know for the fact that we do learn things sometimes on your research on the internet. Okay, because we have a lot of platform there. But it is nice that you listen to people who have experience. Then it is more clinically correlating. Yan. Sorry for that one. Nagko-correlate. Yan, sinasabi. So, mas nakaka-align ka sa your clinical concern, okay? Then, like what I've said, everything is basically basic, no? Try to live healthy, try to live happy, not only physically, emotional, but spiritually, and eat nutritious food. Yun lang naman, and sleep well. Okay, be positive.
Thank you so much, Doc. Ang ganda ng mga paalala ni Doc. So, very basic, very simple, pero very important, no? Ayun. So, thank you so much, guys. So, for those who were not able to catch it from the start, you can always watch it sa ating mga Facebook pages at sa YouTube channel ng My Big Ink tsaka Edge TV Philippines. Ayan. So, thank you so much. And Ma'am Betty?
Yan. Okay, so see you all again next Wednesday. So, ano na bang topic natin? Next Wednesday, we have digital eye strain. Yan.
Wow. We have
so another topic
expert.
about, we have another expert, another doctor who's going to talk about digital eye strain. Yan. Okay, so see you all again next Wednesday. Yes, 12:15.
Thank you, Joseph. Thank you so much.
Thank
again.
you.
Bye.
Thank you, Doc. Yeah.
See you again.
Bye-bye.
Bye.